Hello? 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 Okay, now it's awesome. Hello? Give me one second. This is so annoying. Hello? Give me one second. Okay, awesome. Now, let's continue. It's gonna take a while for me to be up, but I can finally, we can finally hear each other. So, let me start over. Now, what I did at the start was just to show, everything that I built so far. So I'm gonna start this again. Give me a second. Holy. Hello. Holy. Hello. Holy. Hello. 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 This is so annoying because the thing I'm using to talk with, the input, I don't know where it is, and it's like it worked last time, but this time it doesn't. But that might be on my part. Yeah, but let me know if you guys can hear me now when I'm speaking normally. Can you guys hear me? Awesome. So now let's continue. So as I was saying, and also let me know if you stop hearing me. But now, so as far as I've come right now, it's just to introduce the classes and things. So, let me show. And yes, switch to OBS to this window. That's the right one. Awesome. We are so back. So, let me just open the chat again. There we go. So, you can see that it picks up, but essentially I can do what I've been talking about right now. So I haven't implemented Brownie yet. That will come at a later stage. What I want to do this week and also the next stream is to show the UI and the art style that I'm trying to sort out, you know? But I am going with Fallout 1 art style of Fallout 2, but then fully rendered high quality for the cutscenes and things. Because, as I said, that's very important to me. Cutscenes, I don't care if it takes 2 years to develop. I am not doing the visual novels thing. But I'm just gonna put this in chat. So, the one class, sorry, let me start from the top. There are 3 classes and there will be 3 classes. Gunslinger is the one I have implemented so far. So I'm doing all the battle things. Yes, I'm done with that. So Gunslinger, as you can hear, will just use the gun to shoot through all their problems. That's it. So they are very weak when it comes to talking through things, but extremely strong in combat. And as I go on, I will also balance it with other ones. And then you have the charlatan class. Also, pretty good with a gun because their speed will be so high, but they don't do as much damage. You will use 2d6s when you use a gunslinger to. I will show it now. So, big gunslinger, right? And now I can also explain this at the same time. I want it to be like the colors and everything to be Romania coded, so UI will also be like that because I'm doubling down on Sylvester being Romanian. So, when you roll, so up here you have the Cold Kodiak ranged top hat. So, now when I use it, okay, now it for once just hit the goblin right away, but it works. You see here, right? That just 2 as a modifier speed to see how much it hits. Because the speed is, I will show it later, her stats, or I realize you can see them right here. So it's divided in 2 at the moment to determine if he hits. So she rolls a 6 and a 3 and picks the higher number. You know, pretty straightforward. You play D&D or Baldur's Gate 3. Very simplistic. Now, the other classes, so that means restart this window so I can actually have them on screen. And then we press F5 again. There you go. So now I want to talk slightly about other classes. So, or should I talk about the Barney? This is what I said that when I wasn't, you can hear me on streams. I have to edit my stream, right? And so you can hear me. But I swear to God, if this didn't, oh my fucking God. Yeah, I'm new with OBS because when I used to stream, I streamed with there we go. I assumed a friend who did this all for me, but anyway. So there will be a magic caster, and that's a Barney. And because spells and items in this game, as I said, are based on talisman. So uh, you get all the items and things in a card deck. And I think that's the best way to do it when you have limited coding knowledge like I do. And I do find it so much fun that way. And I would play it that way because I played one of those Japanese chess games or whatever. And although it's like very Kumar based, right? I still had so much fun with it. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then the game will be divided into two sections that you sneak around and do puzzles with Brownie to kind of do intel, like like the original game, right? And then you go in and battle a Sylvester. But Brownie, let me just pick on Slinger again so you can see it. You can see life up here. I know I screwed up the window, fix it for extreme. But here, she has one life. Brownie will have 9, but have 1 on all of these. Or no, speed will also be higher. So life and speed will be maxed almost. But he can't do any damage. So you will use him to navigate the game boards so you know what you're about to get into. And then you go in as Sylvester and clear out the area. But then obviously you need to upgrade things like your gun, you need to be able to shoot goblins and fairies and things, you know. So now we come into the lower segment of it, right? And this is something when I did Autumn Boulevard from the start, I hated how I got so much of the lower wrong, even though I'm Swedish and should know it, right? But iron or iron is often used in our mythology to beat these things. But as we all know, like bullets use lead, so it would be kind of useless against goblins and stuff. And these are sort of things I want to do, like, you know, you have to switch ammo, you have to switch cards and things. And it's like not hard enough for me to do it, and that's what I want to do. And what I also am looking into is to switch between like the third person view and the first person view, right? Because you can do some pretty effective things if you can switch it, and I need to look into that. Not third person, sorry. This top board view and like going into first person and things. I'm gonna look into that too, but if it's too difficult, I won't do it. I won't bother with it. So now I can show you sort of how to do the coding. And let me actually see if I can make it. I can't. Because now we will see next thing. There. You see? Now it moves. And then you get a new menu. So as you see, this is like the bare bones, but it works, and this is sort of all I want. I don't want any more complicated than this. And then you know you have the cool Kodiak and knife, and the different classes you can play as will have different abilities here too. So for the Barney will have very low speed, but she will be able to teleport around the board. And Charlatan, right, will be able to just move away without triggering an opportunity attack. And so it depends. So I just like it, and that's all I have to say about it. But now, when I use knife, let's see. Oh, 10 damage, nice. Uh, so that's also things. But I want to see if I can get to this. Yes, the card. I can get to the card. Awesome. Because I also fixed this. Look. Oh no. There we go. But yes. That's you know, that's for that. But I do also have the card system implemented right now too. So that card is a Sharpshooter's Charm. So it gives you 2 extra attack points when you attack, and you can only use it once, and then it goes back to the deck. And that's the next part I will figure out. But next time I'm gonna do the UI. But what is good, right, with the 3D's terms of service is that it's always free to use rendered images. But when you put in the characters and things into the game engine itself, that's where it's you know, it might be terms of service breaking and you have to buy them, which is fine, right? I can buy the things I need. It's cool, but when it comes to rendered images, you can do it. So what I want to do, right, is I want to render the ledge down center and then put that in and put the other things in. So you move around like that. But there's things taking into consideration like scale because brown is so much smaller than Celesta, and how do you do that and things like that. And also, this is a good time to bring up like the spicier things. They will be in the game, but not as much. I think I just want to do like fade to black scenes and things like that, and just maybe one or two funny scenes. But I was also going to cut out the Bianca thing completely because it's like how it. I mean, I'm happy people liked it, but like at the same time, it's too weird, man. Like how it doesn't fit. It wasn't until the very end of Autumn Boulevard, right, when I had already started writing the lore and canon for the cousins of the Archangels that I started figuring out the Tivoli angle, and that Harry was using Tivoli's tomb to create the dolls. But so, but now I figured out if I work with that, you can create some pretty cool body horror elements for it. So I do have an idea how to implement that thing into the game, but it will be more, hinted at and things like that. My main focus is, to focus on, her story, and uh, and that's what most people like, right? The reason I even made of Birds and Bees was because people wanted more of this. Like they really liked the universe, and I was like, okay, cool. So I needed to create something that could beat Lucille or have a fair fight against her, so she doesn't get 360 no scope because everything gets 360 no scope by Lucille because it made her so powerful. And something I always hated in Supernatural and stuff is that they always nerfed Sam and Dean. Like, why? Like, aren't you smart enough to come up with something that can beat them? And I hated that so much. I was like, okay, why not just, no, they did the other way around. They nerfed all the cool characters and then made, that's what they did in Supernatural. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to nerf Lucille because I think it's just cool and it's always so interesting to me to figure out ways you can outsmart like people that are way, way smarter than you. And we'll see how Leander does in Holy at the end, right? I have I don't want to spoil anything for that one, but you will see what happens. So, and then, yeah, no, I wanted to talk a little bit more about that because the thing is that what I also showed in this updated birds, I don't want to get into spoilers, people that haven't played it yet, but that is, also things I will bring up in next stream. I'm gonna this is only the second stream, and I want to do like another quick one or a long one. So for next one, I'm gonna actually also prepare a list of things I want to talk about too. Because it's cool to talk about this. I could talk about my lore for hours and hours, But as you can see, like in this up there birds, when things really start picking up steam, there are I wanted to create things that could beat Lucille, like have a fair fight and stuff like that. And that's why Birds and Bees is so much longer than Autumn Boulevard, and why I, divided it into parts, and it's just, going on for a bit. Now, for fairies, that I did say in the title I wanted to talk about, it's like this. Because I remember when I created Fairies First Autumn Boulevard, if you remember, at the start they seem very, very evil, and then the tone changes. And that was only because I created a godmother. And I was like, because first I wanted a godmother to be kind of a weak-willed sort of thing, like sister to them. But then as I started getting into more contrast and things, and then I was thinking about this character Fabian, and I was like, okay, wait, I can actually do something really cool here. And that immediately created contrast and stuff, right? But because I think the center of my like fairy lore is this one story that I heard. It always cracks me up, man. Almost it cracks me up, but not that one. Cracks me up. There was this guy in Småland in Sweden, and Småland is actually where Claudia is from in Birds and Bees. And it was this guy, right? This farmhand. So back in Old West, Wild West era time Sweden, and he was fishing by a stream. Then he goes back, from his fishing trip, and then he stumbles upon this weird road he had never seen before, like this green road, this beautiful, like stones, perfect, thick, juicy leaves, green, yes, so green, and which is kind of anyone who has been to southern Sweden knows that then it's must be very very green because like southern Sweden is very green. It looks like in parts it looks like the meadows in England, right? Or Queensland for that matter. Maybe not as green as Queensland in Australia, but still pretty green. So something that has to be even more green than that, it's insane. But anyway, he goes down this road, right? And then at the end of the road, he sees these tables, and then he sees like the fairy godmother sitting at the table, like or equivalent or eleva, as it's called in Swedish. It's not called fairy, it's eleva, which Tolkien then took and made his own elves. But anyway, he goes to this, and they invite him to come sit with us and join in our feast. And then this farmhand just says, "No, I believe in Jesus Christ. You can't hurt me. I will not sit with you at this feast." And then the fairies get really angry at him and start throwing things at him. And try to chase him, or like I guess capture him or something. And he runs out of the green road, and the first thing he does is go to the priest. That is the one writing down the story, right? And then the priest, in the official documents of the church, right? So this is like or as official as you can get if a priest writes it down at that time. And let's say that this guy's name was Zack or something, right? So it says like Zack, although and he like uses like I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but he uses like the R slur. Like he doesn't say stupid, he says the R version of it. But he is a godly man. So in the official documents, it's like this priest calling this poor farmhand retarded. It's great. I fucking love it, and that's like based so much of my lore on that. Just that story because it's so funny to me that it like in our official lore and stuff of fairies, there's like this guy gets called retarded by a priest. It's great. I fucking love it. But yes, uh, I'm gonna. But with that said, I'm gonna put the fairy enemies into. So I also figured that out how to do the base classes. I can show you now. Give me a second. It should be right. Creature base, yes. So here you have, yeah, you get the idea. I can just do whatever I want here. And this is the Goblin class right now. Yeah, speed 7, that's why it's so strong. And then might 3. But that's enough to kill, Sylvester right now at the start of the game, right? And then you also got like the characters like the Skogsrå I'm gonna add in. And I am considering adding Troll, but it's I don't know how to do it because they are like one of the things that like in our folklore that I was so scared of as a kid. Like, and they're like, so we'll see. Not that I get too scared, it's just I want to do them justice, But yeah, for next stream, we're gonna do some UI work. Not UI, but the look of the game map. And the UI, is how do I explain it? Let me just do this again. I can show. Do. Did I crash? There we go. So as you can see, there's a reason I left all of this gray around. Because here, what I want to do is that I want to add the board itself, right? So there will actually be cards laying here and cards laying here, like it looks like an actual board. And then the indentations, so it looks like a proper board, right? Like a proper game board. And then, with all the tokens and everything on the side, and then with little nice, gunslinger character info here, the charlatan if you're playing as her, or the Barney if you're playing as her, and then what you're going up against here. So it looks like that. So I wanted it to be like the feeling like you're actually playing, board game with Sargosi. That's on the other side. And I think that is it for me for today. Uh, it's good that I didn't do a longer stream because like I would have been too ashamed to put it out because of the that I just messed up the microphone at the start. That was so fucking bad, hey. But thank you for the people that showed up. And as I said, next time I will show you more the art form and art style that I'm doing because I'm gonna just open up and start doing that and start replacing this board itself with the proper one. And hopefully also Sylvester character at least. Because I really want to make her move and I wanted to feel when she uses the gun. So here, right now, sorry. I said oh no in Swedish. Give me a second. It's not right, yeah, it just dies, but I want it to be like, that she actually, uses her gun. And, I'm gonna also research how knights, when they did duels, how, like, what pose did they have? Like, what did they look like when they stood? Did they stood, like, really cool before, before they struck? Did they always have, like, sword and shield up? I wanted to, really her look like a modern knight, when she goes into battle. And then I also had to figure out what the hell Brownie does in a battle, or if he's even in the battle. Like, can he do anything? Because he's like, just a small little cat. But that will have to be it. Thank you all for the ones who tuned in. And I will talk to you, in the chat, whatever. And we will see you next Wednesday too. Take care.